that feeling of inferiority, or that feeling of I am not good enough, or that feeling of when you hear somebody else's good tidings or good news, or somebody's going through this and you feel a little bit sick in your stomach. You feel something but you don't know what it is. You know you're happy for someone. You know that consciously it's good news, and you know that, right, each to their own, everybody is happy in what they're doing and you're quite fulfilled. Yet you can't shift this hollow feeling in the pit of your stomach. You can't shift this yucky feeling of something, right? And it takes you quite a while for you to figure out that yucky feeling is kind of like an inferiority complex that you have taken on from somewhere. Now, an inferiority complex can come in many ways. One, it comes when in our family of origin, we have literally imbibed that as part of our makeup through our genetics or through our DNA. So whether or not somebody made you feel in a particular way, regardless of how you were treated by your caregivers and how your nurture was during your formative years, right? You nevertheless have taken on some kind of feeling inferior, right? So you might find that you may have, when you're growing up or even now in life, you may look at certain people and they may seem very far away from you, and you might feel quite small. You might feel, oh, there's just something, but you can't put a finger on it. You might feel, oh, everybody else is better looking, better equipped, more successful, and they just look so together, and I'm just nothing. So there is that kind of an inferiority complex, and then there is another feeling of I am nothing, right, that comes from actually knowing that you're nothing. There are two different nothings here. One is a nothing that feels quite worthless, and one is a feeling of nothing because you're full of worth and full of value. But you think nothing of yourself. And when we think nothing of ourselves in the second way, you will find yourself able to mold yourself, meld yourself in any situation. There's no high, there's no low, whatever kind of people you go to. So imagine that you're somewhere and there are 10 villages, right? Every village has its own dialect, people, culture, and it's got its own way. Maybe there are 10 different schools of spirituality, maybe there are 10 different schools of an awakening, but wherever you are seated at that time, you're able to mold yourself without feeling the need of stamping that, hey, this is me and this is my way, right? That I am something. And you won't feel the need to say, well, no, I'm not going to say it this way. I'm going to say this. So I'm not greeting you by saying, Hail Mary or Namaste or whatever else, Shalom. I am just going to say, hey, right? So there is no feeling that I must put my 2 pennies worth. Because when you know that you amount to nothing and you feel like you're nothing, right? But because you are connected to everything, that's very different, right? Now, there is a feeling of nothing, or that I amount to nothing, when it's connected, or rather when we are disconnected to the feeling that I'm everything, or rather the feeling that we are connected to everything. Now that kind of disconnect will bring us a sort of empty space. Now we're going to try to fill that empty space through anything and everything that helps us fill the appetite for a longing to belong, a longing for connection. That longing for connection, right? You may want because you didn't feel connected with your original caregivers, or it's to do with your nurture, but ultimately it would be to do with your longing for the connection. So connecting with everything. Now, with that longing for connection or that longing to belong, right? If you've also had a gap in your nurturing as you were growing up, it'll take you a while to figure out the original longing for connection, because you will keep looking for mommy and daddy. You will keep looking for ways of filling that gap. So you may find that as you were growing up, you may find that whenever people became friends with you, you were longing to be invited to people's homes, longing to be part of circles, longing to be part of something, right? Always getting quite close and willing to bend your, everything in order for you to fit in. So you're always trying to fit in, and you don't know, like there's you don't exist, because you don't know who you are, because you just seem to dip in and out of different people, places, and you meld into it, right? And now it becomes problematic when we start to then associate ourselves with whatever meld we get into. That, okay, so that has now completed me, and so that's what I am. And then we miss that original feeling of connection that we are missing. I hope you're with me, right? Then that other point, that you meld into everything because you are connected to everything, and so you feel like you're nothing, right? In that, you will not be disturbed by anything that happens in this, because you're not living relationally to these different situations or these different people, right? But you're living reverentially to that connected, that level of connectedness. So you don't get involved, right? You don't get involved. You still remain impersonally personal, right? So those are two different types of feeling nothing that come from the original loss of connectivity and already feeling connected. I hope this post made sense. Please do drop me any comments, any questions, and I will help you unravel it. Lots of love. Take care.